Hello, everyone. Hi, Trishna. Hi, Kayla. Welcome to Lady Storm Hackathon. So we should be starting in a few minutes. I see people are joining in. And everybody can see my screen, right?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, that's great. So welcome to our Lady Storm Hackathon workshop. We're going to be going through introductions first, and we have two very lovely ladies over here with us who are going to talk about their CS experiences and go through their CS journey. So my name is Mosina Mahmood, and I'm the internal VP of the Society of Women Engineers, and we have Emily Hannon and Jessica Carrion with us.
Okay, so I'm Emily. I am a computer science major, and I have minors in cognitive science and mathematics. I am trying to do an AI focus. I'm only a sophomore, so I haven't really gone to the fun classes yet. But I do have experience internships at Citibank. So when I was there, I worked on robotics. I worked web development in Angular, and I also worked on data science, doing Python and natural language processing in Python. So that's about my background and experience so far. Okay, Mosina, are you going to go to the next slide?
Yes, is Jessica able to introduce herself?
Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
I thought we were waiting on the intro slides. Oh, there we go. Everyone can hear me, right? Cool. Okay. So I'm Jessica Carrion. I am an electromechanical engineer at Lockheed Martin. I've been working at Lockheed for about a year and a half now, maybe. So a little bit of a background on me. I went to UCF and graduated in May 2019. I had a major in mechanical engineering and a minor in computer science, so I am a little bit different, but I did sit through the CS1 and CS2 classes with all your lovely people and struggled with that. So when I was at UCF, I was a strange mechanical because I liked programming a lot. So I did a lot of outside projects, mainly with Arduino and robotics. So my senior design project was a soft robotic hand rehabilitation device for stroke patients. You can kind of see that picture on the left right there. That was our end product. And I was responsible for all the programming on that and the feedback control loop and all the electronics for that project. Kind of overview, I'm working on my master's right now at USC in mechanical engineering with a focus in dynamics and controls. So a lot of my stuff, I have to do a lot of MATLAB stuff. I know that's not real programming, but it's pretty real for us mechanicals. And work experience. So a lot of my work experience was a lot of mechanical stuff. So I did manufacturing engineering at GE. I was a development engineer intern for Limitless. And I helped a lot with not just their mechanical design, but I did a lot of their programming because I talked to them. I said, hey, I know I'm mechanical, but I really want to do programming. So they let me go ahead and do programming. And then I also got involved in electronics and soldering. And then I went on to Honeywell Aerospace and was a product design engineer intern. And then now I work for Lockheed as electromechanical. So I work a lot on designing circuit cards and designing cable harnesses. Also on top of that, kind of branch out and do a little bit of work for guidance, navigation, and controls, and work more on the control side. So that's how I kind of get my computer science itch at work. So yeah, you can go to the next slide. So this is just my kind of timeline that I kind of went over. Not much going on the left. A lot happened when I started joining SWE. As you can see, that's when I started working at GE and then Limitless and Honeywell. Graduated and then took a short break and then went on to work full-time. It doesn't show here, but I also am a part of Lockheed Martin's Engineering Leadership and Development Program. So that helps us get a lot of technical breadth in just the whole systems architecture outside of our just usual daily work. And yeah, and you can see at the end, I'm still working there and also working on all my masters at USC.
So now Emily is going to explain a little bit more about what exactly we're going to be doing here. And as you can see from the title, you're going to have a few things going on. You're either going to ask or be asked, and Emily is going to explain exactly what that means.
Okay, so we wanted to give you guys like an opportunity to discuss questions about like our experiences and like if you have any like questions for us, basically like a Q&A type of thing. But we also wanted to give you guys an opportunity to practice your interviewing skills, both interviewing skills and like technical interviewing skills. So we kind of have you can either elect to ask or be asked a question by us. And on our next slide, we kind of have like a little like Jeopardy setup. So we have technical categories, we have experience type of questions, and then we also have more like personal type of questions. So we try to like pick types of questions you would get asked during an interview. And then you guys can get the chance to answer a question from us basically, and like practice your public speaking and interviewing skills.
So to start out with, does anybody have any questions for Emily or Jessica, or does anybody want to volunteer to get asked a question and be put on the spot for a bit? Kayla has a question in the chat, and she says, as a freshman, what do you recommend in order to get ahead for future employers? So both of you guys can answer this.
I think one of the biggest things that changed when I started getting jobs is that I became more involved in a club. So that was SWE for me. Not only do I get this like awesome connection where they know a lot of great people are coming from, but there's a lot of good project-based clubs out there that are really good to get involved and kind of dip your toe and getting some applying what you're learning in the classroom. So I would really recommend that, because that stuff is stuff you can put on your resume and be like, oh, I see you've worked in this, and that's exactly what we need as an intern. I think that really helps when you're freshman, just trying to get involved in one of those projects, and then later on, as you get involved in those projects, to become a lead. That's really that changes the game for you after you've gotten that first internship, and then if you get a lead position in one of your project clubs, then you can kind of cherry pick what you want as a job. you become really competitive at that point.
I would say, based on my experience, when I was a freshman, I already had like a couple like internships under my belt. So I would say if you can try to get some experience, or actually what I've been asked a lot recently on different interviews is what types of projects have you like worked on, like coding projects. So hackathon is a good thing to get into because kind of gives you a chance to like do like coding projects that aren't exactly a part of your classes, because like as a freshman you don't really have a lot of chances to do like different languages. You're mostly just programming in C basically, and you don't do like exciting projects for your classes. So I would say just like doing a couple like side projects, or like trying to get some like experience, whether it's doing side projects or doing an internship or something like that, just so you can show people that that you know your stuff, besides just completing your classes, is a good idea.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of that. I know personal projects hold big weight when you're a freshman. So if you don't have a personal project, I would suggest getting one.
So who is next? Do you guys have any questions, or do you want to pick a category and a question to answer? Okay, Harold wants to answer something, so we're gonna see what category he wants. And I'm not sure if he can request to speak. He might have to do that. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you guys. Okay, do I pick something or hi, Perla?
Yeah, you pick a category and a dollar amount.
All right. So I don't want to embarrass myself with technical. So let's do a personal 600. Sure, personal 1-600.
Okay. So what technologies could you not live without?
It's hard to give a non-basic answer to this because it's like my phone, my computer. Well, I mean, I guess like technologies in regards to like tech. I mean, I'm really kind of stuck here. I mean, like.
So would you be a CS major if you couldn't live without technology?
Discord. I can't live without Discord. Like Discord is where everything happens for like for all social things in like all these spaces. So yeah, no, I couldn't live without Discord for sure. Steam. Nice. Someone said Steam in the chat.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what that is.
All right. Thank you guys so much. This is great. Take care.
Who else has a question or wants to answer a question? Yeah, Isabella, yes, you can go ahead and ask something. Do you want to request to speak, or do you want to put the question in the chat? Okay, cool. Ask away. Bella is asking, what would be one thing you would change in your education if you... Good question.
That is a really good question. I'm gonna have to take a second to think about that. I know when I was in the middle of my mechanical degree, I so wanted to just change to computer engineering. But at that point, I was like kind of close to finishing my mechanical degree. So I don't know. I don't know if I would have been gutsy enough to just start with computer engineering. Yeah, computer engineering, love, Perla. Ooh, maybe that would have been the one thing. Maybe just start my computer science minor a little bit earlier, or because I did get a little bit of a late start on that, and maybe had more time to take more computer classes. Because after just the minor classes I got to take, the only class I got to take after that was robot vision, which was pretty cool. But there are so many at UCF you can take. I mean, UCF is one of the best schools for computer science. So probably that, just starting a little bit earlier on the computer science minor so I could have more time to take those classes.
Yeah, that's a tough question because I feel like I'm still in the beginning of my education. So right now, I don't really have any regrets. I might have some regrets in the near future, but I guess like as somebody who more like recently started doing college, I guess I wish I kind of like realized how different college would be than like high school, because like I feel like you just have to learn like a completely different way of studying, especially for something like computer science, or like because you don't really get to take computer science classes in high school or anything. So I feel like it really changed the way that I study and stuff. So I guess in that respect, I wish I like prepared myself a little bit more to take on the computer science classes and like take on the course load. Um, but yeah, I don't no regrets yet.
Great to hear. So who is next in asking a question or being asked one? Oh, that's a great thing to learn, Isabel. Getting things done ahead of time is definitely something that will help you out a whole lot. Okay, Kayla. So if you request to speak, you can pick one or you can type out whichever one you want. Welcome.
Hi, I have to get like close to see it. I'll do personal 2 for 800.
Okay. Personal 2 for 800. Go. Describe a situation in which you had felt you had not communicated well enough. What did you do and how did you handle it?
Um, Actually, kind of recently, I was in my hackathon group and I did not communicate what my skills were well enough. And I wish I handled it admittedly better, which I know is not a good thing to say when you're doing an interview. But, after I kind of calmed down, I explained instead of what I couldn't do, what I could do. And then I was able to say, I can do this, not to the extent which you want, because I'm only a freshman and I can't code amazingly. But I can do this instead.
Nice. Thank you. I think that's a really good thing whenever you're in a situation where things might have been lost in translation. You offer up a solution. So I think you did a great job with that.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's go back to the list of questions and see if anybody has some questions for our panelists or they want to answer one. Be brave, guys. Nobody's answering any technical questions. I don't think they're too hard, but I also don't know the answers to them because I'm not a CS major. But I don't think they're that hard. Okay, Perla has a question. As women in tech, have you faced any hardships at work? That's a good one.
Yeah, pretty good one. I know for sure at my past internships, I felt like I wasn't being heard. Like I would have an idea and I would say it at a meeting, but people would kind of look at me and kind of be like, no, like, let's not do that. So as that first happened at my first internship, and I didn't really know how to handle it, so I just kind of let it slide, like, okay, we won't do my idea. I'm never going to talk again. But it also came up again in my team at work at Lockheed, where we were having some issues, and I came up with a solution. Obviously, when you're coming up with solutions, there's like some pros and cons to it. So when I came up with my solution, I said, okay, here's a pro, blah, blah, blah. Here's the con. And they're like, we really don't like that con. And I'm like, okay, can you explain to me why that's such a big problem? And they just couldn't give me an answer. And I'm like, I came home that day like really frustrated because like I just don't know why. Like there are no other solutions. We should just go with this. I'm not saying it because it's my idea or anything, but I would feel more comfortable if they said, oh, we can't do that because the issue with that is this, this, and this, but they just couldn't give me an answer. So that kind of bothered me. But when I had my male counterpart have some kind of solution, and he had a con in it, they would explain to him exactly why that didn't work. And I don't know if it's because I don't know why. I don't know if it's a male female thing, but it just kind of happens. But I've definitely learned. I'm kind of more. You got to learn how to be more. I wouldn't say aggressive as a woman in tech, but you do. You got to be strong-headed. You have to say, hey, why isn't this a good idea? And if no one's listening to you, I know you can maybe have to do Kamala Harris and be like, I'm speaking. I think there's a study saying like some men don't register when a woman speaks.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why they may talk over you, and that happens a lot at work. I don't know if it's just a personality of my coworkers, but it happens a lot. So sometimes I challenge them when you're speaking and they just talk over you. I'll keep speaking but louder, and maybe they'll stop just so that they can kind of see what's happening. But yeah, that's been like my main hardship as a woman in tech.
So I guess my answer to that is honestly, I've been lucky to not really have any like hardships in like a professional setting. Like everyone I worked with, like at my past internships at City, they were like really nice. All of the people were really supportive. But I was also really lucky because I got to work basically on all teams of all women. So my past like internships were all like women in IT. So like we like had a really great sisterhood as all of us like all being together doing the internship. There were like 20 interns or something each year. So we have like our class of interns. So it's like honestly, it's some of the same vibes as like Society of Women Engineers. It's like it's a sisterhood and we're all like supporting each other. And like even our like managers, not just the women, but like the guys too, are all like really supportive of us. And like it was a really great environment to be in, like starting out especially. But like I feel like in school though, it's different. And like guys like on group projects or like things like that don't really always want to listen to you because they just want to take control and like do it themselves or whatever. But like luckily, as Jessica was saying, I'm really kind of an aggressive person. I'm not like afraid to like just like go and like go get it. So I think so far that's been a pretty like good thing to have. Just because like it kind of lets you not be like as afraid to like speak up for yourself. It is a downfall sometimes because you can be too aggressive. But you know, I just thought it was. My gosh, I'm trailing off now. But yeah, I was also gonna comment on like defense. I feel like I've heard a couple stories about like in defense, the guys can kind of be like, you know, like not like sexist, but like a little bit like not knowing how to work with women. But I'm not sure if that's just like I've heard like a couple accounts of it or not. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You kind of have to take it in stride because not all of the like industries are going to be there's like many industries in tech and they're not all going to be as accepting of women, and it depends what company you're at as well. So it's like you just have to like stick up for yourself sometimes, and like it sucks, but that's how it is.
Yeah. Kind of going off on defense. Defense has really come a long way. And I think that's why you hear stories of just not being treated well, because the norm in defense, like back in the day, was like throwing shoes at each other and like yelling at each other, screaming at each other across the room. Yeah, I've heard stories, crazy stories from my coworkers. So they're not quite up to speed of like, you know, the big tech companies, or like you find a lot of the tech companies are more on the cultural optimization and being like, yeah, women in tech. Defense is still trying to catch up to it. They're willing to. I know all my coworkers are willing to. It's just they haven't. They've been working in the industry for 35 years, and some things they're just not used to, and you just have to introduce that to them. And if you find yourself that you're that person that is able to introduce that to people, then help out the younger woman, or maybe the women who aren't, their personality type isn't to speak up. That's just not them, and that's okay. But kind of be an ally to them and help them as well.
That's a really good answer. Harold has a question. What advice would you give to males who realize these issues exist and want to help? I think Jessica started to answer that.
I find the best thing is listen, ask questions, and be there for us. And I know there's a lot of like resource groups. Like at Lockheed, we have Women in Engineering, Women, what is it called? Women in Empowerment or something? No, Women's Impact Network. There we go. And we host events, and you know, these events may be geared towards women, but as a male, to just show up and show that you're supportive means a lot to us, because then it kind of seems like, okay, you can see kind of where we're coming from. I know at our work, we'll sometimes have talk on maternal leave and how are you taking care of your kids while working at the same time. And I know some males do have to deal with that, but just to have your leaders, your male leaders first, showing up, and then that kind of trickles down to your male coworkers just showing up for you. I think that's one of the biggest impacts that has really helped.
Do you have a response, Emily?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say exactly the same thing. I was gonna say, like talk to us, you know, like start those conversations, and like I guess like yeah, ask us questions if you want to know like things about how women feel about being in tech spaces and stuff. Then like don't be afraid to ask us, because we're just here hanging out, you know. But I think it's really great. Like in my past internships, I did work with like older interns who were male and female as well. But like some of the dudes would ask me like, oh, like how do you feel like being as a woman in the tech space? And like we had some really great conversations, and like kind of like a mentorship thing, because I was in high school at the time and he was in college. So it was like really good to have those types of conversations. And he was like African American too. So we kind of like had a little back and forth about like what it's like to be minority in tech, and those type of things. But I would say that like if you really want to like support women in tech, just like show up, because and like be willing to listen, because like we really like it when you show up and are willing to listen. I like every time there's a dude who's like, yeah, women in tech. I'm just like, yeah, women in tech. Respecting women is so cool. Like, thank you. Because like I know some dudes can be like kind of jerks about it. So yeah, just show up.
Yeah. And like what Isabel said in the chat, is don't be a bystander if you're a male and you know something's wrong. I guess that's something that us women don't see because, of course, it happens behind our backs. But yeah, if you see something, speak up. Be like, that's not cool. And maybe like say why it's not cool, like from what you've learned from us.
Great answers to a great question. Thank you, Harold. So who else has any more questions or wants to answer a question? Any takers? Okay, Kayla, feeling brave? Okay, she'll answer a technical question, our first one. Okay. Which one do you want to do?
Is it harder by more money, like normal Jeopardy? Cool.
No, unfortunately not. It's completely random. So best of luck.
No, I guess I'm happy about that because I coding class. I'll do technical one for 600.
A fun technical question. So you got lucky with that.
Technically, I first learned how to. My mom is like CS education professor. So the first program I kind of did was helping her with like one of the do this and do this to like as a guinea pig. But the first real program I did, it was I guess not real program because some people don't think JavaScript is a real programming language. I've had some of my mom's friends tell me that. That felt great. Sophomore year of high school, I was like, oh, great. So it was a thing where we would create an image. It was just learning how to do the different shapes. But that semester, I also coded my first ever game. So yeah. And yeah, I still think JavaScript is programming, but I don't know.
I think it counts too. That's a great answer. And that's pretty cool. It sounds like you started very early on in programming too, so.
Yeah, essentially there was a big fight, or not a fight, but a struggle because my mom was like, Haley, you'll love it. But I'm like, no, but I don't want to do stuff that my mom does. And then turns out I'm a CS minor now.
Oh, that's amazing. And Trishna said that companies look for JavaScript too. So, I mean.
Well, I'll have to brush up on that stuff.
Yeah, thank you, Kayla, for answering and for being brave enough to do so.
Mm-hmm.
HTML is not a programming language, though. That's funny. Okay. So who else has a question or wants to answer one? See, the technical ones aren't. Yeah, go for the big money ones. Trishna has a question. Okay, thank you. Who is/are your role models? That's a great question. Who wants to answer first?
Oh, okay. I thought I could just have audio because I feel embarrassed. I don't have my programming shirt on.
That's okay.
Yes. But when it comes to role models, I mean, in general, I'm mostly intrigued by historical figures.
So, you know, I really admire Ada Lovelace, who is the first programmer. So, you know, even before computers existed, that's how powerful she is. She was called the Enchantress of Numbers. And she worked with Babbage, who could have potentially made the world's first computer, but he never followed through on the machine that she wrote notes for, which those notes are considered the first real program ever written. So that's amazing. And when it comes to actual figures, though, currently, one of my biggest role models is this Chinese maker called Naomi Wu, and her entire mission is making tech as accessible as possible to everyone. And she works in the 3D printing industry, which I got a 3D printer for my birthday, you know, and I love maker culture in general. She basically does this thing that I love, where at the end of every single one of her YouTube videos, she says, if I can do it, you can do it. And that, I think, is one of the biggest attitudes we could take as women, is we have to emphasize that programming is for everybody. Because the biggest thing people say when like the main thing people say when I tell them, oh, I'm a CS major, I'm a programmer, they say, oh, wow, I thought, you know, I heard programming is really hard. Like, they think only Einstein level geniuses can do it. And I'm like, well, you know, I consider myself pretty smart, but I do believe that programming is just something anybody can pick up. In fact, you know, one of my goals, I mean, it's not like a major career goal, but I am interested in having programming and just other tech, just to have it become part of mainstream schooling curriculum, because that's where most jobs are going in the future. So children need to learn how to program as a basic skill. But yeah, I mean, Naomi Wu is like my biggest role model. So sorry I started rambling.
That's okay. Thank you so much for your answers, Isabel. Those are some really powerful figures, and glad you shared.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica and Emily, do you guys have your role models, I guess? Any come to mind?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of a fault of my end. Where are my role models? I kind of like, I really like Elon Musk, but I liked qualities of him. I don't like all of him. There are some things that he does that I have problems with. So there's some qualities I like in him. And then, of course, I live in like fantasy land. So I'm like, I want to be like Tony Stark. I mean, I'm already starting in defense. Doesn't take long till I build a suit. So yeah, that's pretty good. I should probably figure out a good role model. Maybe that'll help.
What about you, Emily?
I have to say I started learning to code because I watched the Iron Man movies, and I was like, that looks kind of sick. I should like learn how to do that. And so I joined my high school robotics team, just because I thought it sounded cool. And I didn't really like think about like, oh, I would be the only girl there, which I was the only girl there. But like that's how I started learning to code. So yeah, definitely Iron Man is a good role model, gotta say. Controversial, but still, at least he's a comic book character, unlike like Elon Musk, because we don't need to like start the controversy on that one. I'm an Elon Musk, like I like Elon Musk, But my I think there's like a lack of like a lot of female role models like in modern like tech and stuff. But like my favorite female role models are I think Margaret Hamilton is her name, who like did the NASA code. She like standing next to that giant stack of like code and stuff. Like she just like looks so cool to me. And also Grace Hopper is probably my like favorite role model because she like basically invented modern programming, and I feel like nobody gives her enough credit. I'm like, guys, like she invented modern programming. Like we would not be here if it was not for her. Like
The Grace
come
Hopper
on, give me the guys.
That if you didn't attend that happens every year, and I think Trishna went to the Grace Hopper conference, so dedicated to her. Once again, and I think I saw in the chat Perla was up for a technical question. Did I read that right? Very enthusiastic. I love it. Hi, Perla.
Oh, I'm there. Hi.
Yes.
How's it going? Can you guys hear me? Hey, yo. So, what are we doing? Do I have to just thank you? Yes.
Which one would you like?
I don't know. If it's got, I hope it's not C. So go for technical to 1000.
Is one thing you would improve about the Discord application?
Get rid of Nitro. I don't know. Well, I don't.
This is just in general. I don't think it's for any specific Discords.
Well, I mean, I see Discord and I just think, just Discord, like the actual application. Let's see. So I don't use Discord that much, but from what I've used during the Discord tour in this event, I think something that could probably be improved is that I don't know. But some people say it needs to be simplified. So let's say something. For example, when you look, let's say for the Discord app, right, and you see Slack, for example, then you see Slack is a little, I don't know, more bright and like a little more professional, right? And Discord is more like for gaming, right? So things like that. So I think if you want to use Discord for something professional, it might not be like the best choice in that sense. So if maybe there could be some kind of like mode or something like on the Discord application that you could like, instead of just like being that gaming side of things, like just change it kind of like in a way that it would other more people could be involved and like it'll be more triggered to actual professionals and they could use it. And I think they'll probably like get more revenue that way if there's more people using it than just gaming. So I don't know. I'm kind of like wondering here because I don't even know.
I think that's a great answer. And Isabel said that's what they're doing now. So hey,
Oh.
you're onto something.
I didn't know that. You know,
That's awesome.
And there's so many things right in my mind. And then a year after, I'm like, that exists. I remember I was like Google thing. I was like, oh, can I change this like this with my hand? Because what if I have Cheeto fingers or something? I cannot touch my phone. So just like do it like that. And I think like Google Pixel did something like that after. But then it got difficult. So nobody ended up using it. But yeah, Cheeto finger mode actually. Yeah. Agree. Anyways. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Perla. Thanks for being brave. Who else has a question or wants to ask Emily or Jess a question. Let's see. Oh, Isabel wants to take $500 one. Which one? Which category would you like to take it in? Or 600 in technical one, experiential, or personal?
Okay, cool. So I don't. Oh wait, it's because I have my privacy slip on. Okay, I'll take 600 in. What does experiential mean exactly?
Those are questions that are geared more towards your experiences or like.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna fail terribly there. So I guess I'll just take technical one, 600.
Okay. Oh, I think we already did this one, but you can answer it again if you'd like.
Wait, how did I first learn? Wait, did we already answer that one?
Kayla did answer this one, but I feel like you're gonna have a different response. So
let's try technical too. Then I don't want to answer something someone's already, you know.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Name a
type of. No. I took that class, but all that information fell out of my head. So I need something else. Can I ask
do we have any volunteers in the crowd? Do you want to phone a friend, Isabel? I know that's not the right game, but.
Wait, hold on. I know. Let me see. Let's see.
Trishna said calls and Blansky.
Binary search tree? Yes, I know about that much at least. Okay, I think I could do BST. Okay. So a binary search tree is a way of arranging information. Where I'm sure everyone knows what a binary tree is, right? So this will be done in an order where it's split amongst, so like let's say you have 5 and then you have a number 1, you'll put it to the left, and let's say you have 10, then you'll put it to the right. Then anything that is smaller than or larger than will go to the side of either of those, new nodes. So like, let's say you get 8, that'll go to the left of the 10, and for the 1, only a negative would go to, the left of that. But either way, what a BST does is it always has to even itself out. So basically you will need to learn how to like switch nodes so that there's always like, because at the most you can only have like one level lower at all times. Is that correct?
Emily or Jessica, would you guys like to confirm?
Okay, I want to say that I know the answers to these things because I just passed my foundation exam. So I should know because I'm sure it was on the exam, so I should know. I know if you want to balance a binary tree, you have these things called like AVL trees, I think. So like you can only have them in like a certain order, I guess. So you want to have your like, I guess your greatest one at the top or something, or your smallest one at the top.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
I forget the like ordering or whatever, but you want to like have all of your things in like, I think like descending or ascending order or something. And then when you like make an insertion to your binary tree, there's like an algorithm where it will like balance the tree for you. So it will like if you have your like structure and everything's attached to each other, it will like flip kind of your tree structure so that the like greater things or the smaller things based on your ordering will like be at the top, I guess.
I've only worked with BST type stuff, and I haven't heard of AVL yet, but wouldn't that become kind of inefficient? Because let's say you have maybe 1,000 different, things. And if you have 1,000 at the top and one at the bottom, then you kind of have to, let's say you have a tube, then you'll have to go all the way down. That doesn't sound very efficient because BSTs are meant to be balanced. So you could say that the true center of your data set will always be at the top, and, shifting the nodes around is relatively simple.
Well, Isabel, it sounds like you would have some great responses to an interview. So I didn't even know that there was cons to this. So thank you.
No, I mean, that's just, I don't know how AVL trees work. Maybe I'm completely wrong for a different reason, but I've never heard of that.
I think what they do is they're based off of binary search trees, like the same structure, but if I'm remembering correctly, I took this class like 2 semesters ago. I took CS1, so I don't know if I remember all the stuff, but I think it's based off of the binary search trees, but it's like an algorithm to like do an insertion. So if you had your like balanced tree and you had like a random like number or like random numbered node that you wanted to insert into your already balanced tree, then like it's more of like an algorithm to like balance like the tree once you make your insertion instead of having to like create a whole new one, basically. I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, BSTs, you kind of need to insert things in there, so
well, thank you.
It works that way, I think. I'm just very confused right now because now I'm like, that meme of a woman thinking and there's a bunch of math diagrams around her.
Well, it's a good thing because now you can look it up later on, and then if this ever comes up in an interview, you'll think about this time and it's going to help you out. So thank you for taking a question and answering it really in depth.
All right. By the way, just a question. Does anyone here have a book they recommend that's like a mega guide to everything data structures? Like, how Cracking the Coding interview is the book everyone says you should read if you're looking to get a job, but what's the best book for like becoming a master at data structures?
Does anybody have any suggestions in the chat for Isabel? If not, maybe somebody in the KnightHacks Discord would have an answer, so that could also be an avenue to ask on.
Yeah. All right. I embarrassed myself enough already. So
I don't think you did that at
turn.
all. Who is next? Who wants to either ask Jessica or Emily a question or get asked one? Okay, Trishna is saying, okay, Trishna can go next. And which question do you want? Let's pick a category. Don't know where she went. Okay, Kayla, you're up. Yes, we love it. You're answering all these questions. I'd like to hear it.
I need practice, I think. That's the main thing. The technical now scared me. I guess I'll do experiential for 1,000.
1 or 2?
Oh, 1.
Okay, cool. There you go. Describe a situation in which you have experienced a significant project change that you weren't expecting. What was it and how did it impact you?
I should think about this. Okay, so this is not really a project. I don't have much experience, like a STEM project. Just because like I haven't done much, but in I was in sophomore year of high school. There was in my AP US history class, there was a project, and so I guess like I don't know if the project changed, but I had to get eye surgery, and I was like I couldn't see for like 2 weeks, so I had to do a project like very differently. So yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, I wish I had a project that was a better example.
Have any assignments in class that got affected because of COVID? That could also be a great thing to answer with.
So theirs was one that kind of. So for my senior project, we had to do a research project, and mine was about like evolution of Disney princesses and feminism. And essentially, COVID hit the day after I presented, so I wasn't able to see any of my reviews, and I wasn't able to do any peer reviews and stuff. So yeah, I wasn't able to do the final reflection, which kind of sucked. But you know, I was able to graduate at least because nobody was able to do it.
Well, that's really good, and I guess that's one thing to focus on because this is your first year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as you go on, I guess if a project doesn't go your way and it changes, it's not the end of the world because then you'll have even more answers to these interview questions. And that's something to remember when things don't go your way.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. COVID already happened.
That is true. Thank you, Kayla, for coming in and answering like second or third question. Okay, is Trishna's camera working again? If not, does anybody want to sub in for Trishna and take her place? Trishna can pick a category and question she wanted to answer, and then somebody can answer it for her. Okay. She can answer it in the chat. So which one would you like? Technical one for 800. We can do that for you. Oh. Okay. What is GitHub and how do you use it? If you use it. She said it's a place for code to live. That's a pretty good answer. And have you used it at all in the past? It's how employers determine your worth, Isabel. Okay, for group projects. Those are great answers. I wonder if you want our panelists, Jessica and Emily, to answer any of the questions on the board also. Do you guys want to answer one?
I can answer a question. I'll have a personal question for, have we done any personal questions yet? Oh, dang. Okay, I can pick any of them. I'll take 800 for personal one. Oh, God. That is such a question. Okay. In 5 years, I see myself as hopefully graduated, hopefully having a job, hopefully employed. My focus for my degree is AI, hopefully, as well. But I want to really work somewhere where I get to do like something related to machine learning, or something related to like data science. I kind of like want to work right at the intersection of like tech and people. So like I really want to do something that will like let me like help people in technology. And so I don't know, 10 years is a long way away for a college student. I think a lot can change in 10 years. So I'm not going to like hold my breath and like try to make some kind of perfect future. But like as long as I'm like contributing to humanity and stuff, and like as long as I'm like able to like help people have better lives and things like that, then I think that'll be satisfactory in my opinion.
Emily, and did you want to answer that also, Jessica?
Oh, the same one?
Yeah, if you want, or you
Sure.
can do a different one.
No, I can do the same
Okay.
one. So in 5 years, I hope that I am, oh, let's see. I am doing more guidance, navigation, and controls for work, and being a controls like technical expert at that point, and servo stabilization, hopefully working across different programs and onto, they have an algorithms team, because that's where you really get into the heavy math, and that's what I want to do. I will hopefully have completed my master's at that time. This is a fever dream, but I really want to start working on a PhD after that. It's going to be kind of hard working at the same time, but that's where I kind of want to go. And then in 10 years, I'm hoping that at work I could be some kind of lead, not necessarily still in defense, but who knows? But I still do want to be working on controls related stuff. Perhaps having like a dozen papers published at that point. I want to have a patent at that point as well. I'm working on a patent, so that's why I say that. And yeah, and I just want to be on the path to becoming the technical expert across different businesses. So they can be like, oh, Jess, she's the controls gal. We need to pay her to come and do this super hard stuff. So if I'm just on the track to be able to do that, that's where I see myself in 10 years.
I think that's awesome. And see, you guys hear that? You're going to be hearing Jessica's name everywhere in the next 5 to 10 years. So
I'll be Elon Musk.
Yes,
I'll be a better Elon Musk.
You're going to be a better
cool.
one.
I just think that's so cool.
I think so too. Wow, that's really awesome. Well, I think that's the end of our session. If you guys wanted to answer more questions, we can continue. But if you have any more questions for Emily or Jessica, you can
speak now. Yeah.
Speak now or forever hold your peace. Yeah, thank you, Perla, for showing up, and thank you to everybody for showing up as well. I hope you guys got something out of it. Thank you, Harold. Have fun at this hackathon. I'm sure you guys are all very sleep deprived and running on coffee and sugar and caffeine. Bye, guys. Thank you, Isabel. And thank you, Kayla. Thank you for showing up and for being brave and answering all these questions live as a freshman. I know you're going to be getting lots of opportunities in the future because you're already so involved. Bye-bye. I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you are. Yeah, there's a lot of people here. don't know how long we stay on or if we can exit. But thank you guys for showing up and for answering questions and being put on the spot. So I really appreciate it.
Okay, I guess.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
I'm glad.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, yeah, but